Hello and welcome to Postgrad webinars. Today I'm joined by Andrew Graham from TravelGrad, who's going to be talking to us more about what TravelGrad is, what its offering is, and how you can go about applying for one of their great opportunities. To begin with, Andrew, how are you? All well?
Yes, all good. Thank you very much, Garrett. How are
Great.
things yourself?
Yeah, very good. Thank you, and great to hear. Let's get
Thank you.
straight into it then. Tell me more
Sure.
about TravelGrad and what it is you guys do.
Yes, absolutely. So TravelGrad is an option for graduates when they finish up at university to head over to Asia for a period of anywhere between 5 and 12 months, teaching English as a foreign language. So we have placements out in China, Thailand, Vietnam, South Korea, and Japan. We have all sorts of different types of TEFL placements. So TEFL would be teaching English as a foreign
Yeah.
language. We have public schools, we have private schools, we have part-time options, we have full-time options, we have options where you can save quite a bit of money. We have the opposite to that. We have group starts, we have individual start dates, we have urban placements, we have semi-rural, we have assistant teacher positions, we have main teacher positions. We generally have structured the whole thing so that we kind of have one of everything. So it's a made to measure TEFL placement for our graduates. Now you don't need to have any teaching experience. You don't need to have a teaching background in terms of your degree. We're open to applicants from every discipline, as long as you're a native English speaker, um, and you're ready for an adventure. We're happy to have you, and we'll certainly find something amongst our opportunities that suits you.
Yeah, and obviously this is guided towards students or mainly towards students that have graduated and looking for an opportunity postgraduate. Um, are there any applicants that come a little bit later in the stage? You know, there are a lot of people that
Yeah,
take a break, for instance, and go down that road
exactly.
instead.
There are. So we are currently doing about maybe 150 applicants per year across the 5 countries, and about 80% of them are either fresh out of university or perhaps a year out of university. So still in the kind of grad job market
Yeah.
looking for their next step. But the other 20% is anything and everything really. We get applicants looking for a change. We get applicants in their 30s, 40s. There's not really any upper age limit. Once you've got that degree, it'll work. It'll work forever. So yeah, we do see a small percentage of applicants from kind of different demographics, but typically we kind of market to the final year students, we
Yeah.
market through the universities and so on. So yeah, most of our applicants do tend to be kind of around the 20, 21, 22 mark. But yeah, we're open to anything.
And can a student choose where they want to go? Obviously,
Oh
you've got
yeah.
your 4 or 5 different main opportunities
Yeah,
that they can pick and choose.
absolutely. So what we'll do is one of our team will have a discovery call with the applicant when they first submit their interest in the whole thing. And on that discovery call, our goal is to understand what would the applicant enjoy, what are they looking for, what kind of day-to-day life could we match them to, because really we do have one of everything, and I can't emphasize that enough. That's really what we've set out to achieve, one type of every TEFL placement. So we use those discovery calls to just understand what is the applicant looking to get out of the whole thing. Are they looking to save £10,000, £15,000 over the year so that they might perhaps put down a house deposit or whatever once they get back to the UK? Or are they looking to just kind of break even? Are they looking for something, quite intense and full on, gain that sort of rich teaching experience? Or are they just looking for more of a kind of holiday gap year type thing? And we just advise applicants be honest with us on those calls. Whatever you're looking for, we've got it. And we'll then guide them towards the opportunity that we think suits them best. At the end of the day, it is, of course, up to the applicant which opportunity they wish to sign up to. We'll just give them our own thoughts based on what they've said to us, as to which opportunity we think suits
Yeah.
them best, and why. We'll often try and put them in touch with some past graduates who have done that option or are currently on that option. And we very slowly sign the applicants up to an option. We're not super quick. We don't want to sign somebody up just immediately to Japan. We want to kind of take our time. We want them to ask questions. We want them to speak to somebody over there. We want them to really feel it out and decide if it is the right option for them. And if it is, yeah, they'll go on that option. It's all super flexible as well. Applicants sometimes sign up to, they start the process for one option, and they might change their mind for whatever reason to swap to a different option. So yeah, it is entirely up to the applicant which country they actually end up in.
And can students do more than 1 year? Obviously, fundamentally, the Japan one, let's say, is 12 months, but at the end of that,
Yeah.
students love their time. Could they then sign on to another program?
Oh yeah, 100%. So, quite a cool statistic is that 85% of our applicants do stay on for a second placement,
No.
which is huge. And we often ask the applicants upon registration on the first option, how likely is it you are going to make this a multi-placement experience? And very few people actually say yes to that. But then when they get there, they fall in love with it, and they actually want to stay for years to come. We have applicants out in China now, 10 years, 11 years. We're about 13 years going currently. And we have applicants out in China from the first or second year still out there. People don't want to leave. But yeah, you can move around. It's a great starting point, all of this travel grad sort of stuff. So, you know, applicants are part of a group, a structured support system. We'll look after them. They'll be amongst other applicants and graduates like themselves. It's a lovely starting point. But once you're there, just like anything, there's ample opportunity to get involved in any number of TEFL jobs, companies, private schools, kindergartens. So some applicants will have that, second placement through ourselves, and some applicants will just find it on their own once over there. We do have something called Community Plus, where applicants can move from one of our options to one of our other options free of charge after completion. Most of the options are included within that. So we do see a fair bit of that. Somebody might want to try Thailand for 5 months, which we would class as a break-even option. The Thailand
Yeah.
TEFL taster. Um, you'll be comfortable financially. You'll get your accommodation. You'll have a great time. I lived there myself for a couple of years. But you probably won't save a fortune. So perhaps applicants might start off on that option, find their feet, part of a big group, good weather, 30, 35 degrees every day of the week, bit like my background here. And they then might decide to sign up to the China option upon completion of Thailand and save a bit of money, with the higher salary, that kind of thing. So yeah, we often see applicants make 3, 4 years out of it, but initially the placements are between 5 and 12 months.
Yeah, excellent. And you kind of touched upon it already in terms of, making them feel part of a group. But what support is available to students when they're on placement?
Yeah, so we're all about support. If you check out our website, travelgrad.com, you'll see all sorts of awards and recognitions over the last 10 years for support. So our team are very hands-on with the applicants, both before departure and whilst on placement. And really what I mean by that is we have direct WhatsApp communication with the applicants. There's applicants calling us and texting us 24 hours a day from all sorts of parts of the world with various things that they need help with. It could be that they get to China, they don't know how to turn on the washing machine; it's all in Chinese. It could be that they are setting up, a money transfer from Korea back to the UK, and they're just struggling, with the logistics, all that kind of stuff. We'll help them with their everyday issues. Now we also have a members area with, you know, sort of basic documentation and step-by-step support guides for this, that, and the other that the applicants can also just read through. They don't have to WhatsApp us, but some of them do, some of them don't. And whatever works for the applicant works for us. Some applicants are constantly in touch with us, asking for advice about X, Y, and Z, and other applicants just seem to just get there and just get on with it. And they know we're there if they need them. Certainly, we're there for all of the big stuff. Somebody was to lose their passport, somebody was to have a medical issue, somebody was to need to come back to the UK prematurely. We have a nice system in place to sort of jump in and help them with any eventuality. But they've also got the group chat, which would be other applicants from TravelGrad who are on the same option as themselves. who are actually in the country with them. And what we find is that they all lean on each other and support each other as well through that group chat. They're all getting there at the same time. They're all culture shocking at the same time.
Yeah.
And that's really useful as well. And then last but not least, all of these options, whilst TravelGrad are UK based, all of these options are partnered through in-country connections of ours, already established channels that exist within the TEFL space in Japan, in Korea, in Thailand, Vietnam, and China. And those channels have staff and local coordinators and mentors, and those guys will also be on hand throughout the placement to help the applicant in each of those countries. So it's not only TravelGrad who would be there by WhatsApp or phone call, but they do have somebody they can see and meet face to face in country, a local from our connections, you know?
Yeah, and I think from previous conversations as well, to point out before we wrap up, you
Yeah.
do accept applications from not just the UK, but from other English-speaking countries, don't you?
Yeah,
So it's from all
exactly.
over
So
through your partners, isn't it?
it is. I mean, the whole TEFL industry is largely centered around native English speakers. Um, you know, that's just how it is in the world of TEFL. There's a strong preference for native English speakers, just due to the job role and to the visa category that these guys will be applying for. So most of our options are restricted to native English speakers. So that would be UK, Ireland, Canada, Australia, UK, Ireland, Canada, Australia. Where else? Um,
New Zealand,
New
Australia,
Zealand.
Canada,
Yeah.
UK, to name a few, yeah.
Yeah, if you're a native English speaker. Now, having said that, there are a couple of options open to those outside of those countries, but they come with a few additional requirements. So we would typically invite applicants who have a strong level of English that do not meet those criteria to still contact us and see if there's anything we can do, as sometimes there is. It sometimes depends on where their schooling took place or this, that, and the other. But we certainly have had non-native English speakers amongst our ranks. But yeah, it would be largely native English speakers. Yeah.
Excellent. And just to wrap things up, I'm a student looking through postgrad.com. I see TravelGrad. How do I apply and how long can I expect the feedback to come back to me?
Yeah, cool. So we're very responsive. Applicants can head to our website. So that's travelgrad.com. We have an Instagram, which is travel.grad. And upon arriving on our website, they will be met with testimonial videos and all of the information about each option. It's worth looking at those testimonial videos. There must be 40 or 50 of them on the homepage of past travel grads talking about their experience. So very valuable, informative sort of material. If the applicant feels like it might be something for them to consider, they would click on inquire/apply, a green kind of turquoisey button up the top right of our website, and they would fill out a quick form, just 3-4 minutes, basic questions, name, email address, age, which country they're considering, and so on. And one of our team will typically get back in touch with the applicants within about a week with next steps and hopefully inviting them onto one of those discovery calls that I mentioned to you earlier in the call.
Excellent. Andrew, thanks for taking the time to catch up with me. If anyone has any
Thank
questions,
you.
please have a look at postgrad.com, have a look at the TravelGrad website, and keep an eye out for any more messaging about our partnership and collaboration. Andrew, thank you.
Thank you very much, Garrett. Cheers.